Thank you all. I'm also going to touch on the great state of Maine, but I'm going to tell you first that I'm a very laid-back guy. I'm a hard guy to get to his boiling point, but I'm going to tell you a Maine story that got me really close, right? Goes back years ago. Anyone who has or had toddlers probably understands that it's a lot easier to lose your cool in that scenario, right? Right. My wife and I were on a long road trip. We were coming down back from the top of New England, from Bar Harbor. And my son was in the car too long for a kid, right? He wanted to be out and running. And we're driving through Kittery, Maine, and there was an LL Bean outlet. And my wife said, "Ooh, I want to go in there." And I see this has got disaster written all over it, but ooh, she wants to go in there, right? So we're going in there. We pull off the side of the road, and he jumps out full of energy. And she walks in the door, and he races in the door, and I'm behind, and I'm seizing up the place because I'm thinking, I need to know what's going on here. It is packed tight with all their leftover stuff and tight displays and stuff everywhere, things you can break, things you can throw, and I'm taking it all in. I'm looking at the guy behind the counter. I think I could beat him up if it starts as a fight, right? He's a young guy, and I'm thinking, all right, he doesn't have kids, and he's not going to get what's about to happen here when my son starts going full-fledged for this place, right? But it's an unfamiliar terrain for my son, so he's easing his way in. You know, he might knock something off and then move off a little bit, and I pick it up and he knocks something off, and he's feeling it all out and thinking it's pretty cool. My wife grabs armloads of stuff, and she's off in the fitting rooms. And he's getting more and more antsy, and he starts to hide in the displays, and my voice is elevating, trying to find him, not really because I'm upset, because I get it, right? He's a little kid who's been in the car too long. He deserves this a little bit. But I'm looking around at the people in the store, and I'm trying to keep up with them and not knock them down. And it's getting harder, right? And I feel it elevating in me a little bit, but I'm going to be all right because I knew this was going to happen, right? And it gets a little worse, and he's throwing things and picking things up that he shouldn't, and I'm thinking, all right, best defense is good offense here. So I say, hey, buddy, let's play a game. Let's see who can stand on their left foot the longest. And no, he doesn't want to play that game, right? So I say, ooh, a better one. Your right foot the longest. And no, he doesn't want to play that one either. So I try everything. I spy with my little eye, and he's just a little hellion in the store. And finally, I pull the one out I'd been saving my whole life for this kid, right, since it happened to me. I said, hey, buddy, I got a game for you. I reach in my wallet. I pull out my biggest bill, right, a $5 bill, and I hold it up. And I say, I will give you this $5 bill if you can get your elbow in your own ear. And he's intrigued by this, right? And he looks at the $5 bill, and he looks at the elbow, and there's little, and things are getting under control. And I'm thinking, all right, I got this. And my wife walks out with an armload of discards, and she says, oh, everything's going well here. She grabs a bunch more, and he plays this game for a while. He looks like a moron, but he's being quiet. And then she goes back in thinking everything's cool. And at that point, he says, no, I'm never going to win this game. So he takes off, and I turn around. He is pantsing a mannequin. Right? Literally. And then he asked loud enough, directed at me, but for anyone in the store to answer, why this man doesn't have a peanuts. And at this point, I'm losing it, and the boiling point is getting closer, and I see the guy behind the counter looking at me, and I'm thinking, oh, here it comes. I'm about to get kicked out of LL Bean, right? And the guy's walking over towards me, and my head's down, and I'm trying to keep him under control. And he walks up, and he says, sir, and he looks down sheepishly and kind of kicks at the carpet. I'm thinking, you know what? I get it. I should be kicked out of here. I can't control my kid. My wife's in there. It's not my fault. It's not his fault. It's not her fault. It's not your fault. But don't make me feel guilty because you're kicking me out of your store, right? And I might lose it now because this guy is making me feel guilty for this whole thing, and I'm trying to hold it together. And I worked really hard at being good at this. And he said, sir, my wife and I are going to have our first baby in a couple weeks, and I'm really scared. But I want to be a dad just like you. And it dumped cool water down on me, boiling point averted. My son and I toured up the store until my wife was done her shopping. Thank you.